Okay, YouTube, I'm finally back again after taking a full year off from making videos, and that's just been because I've been super busy with work and things in my personal life. But I am back now, and for my return video, I'm going to make this on my Gen 4 Glock 27. Thought it was kind of important, seeing how guns are a big subject nowadays. There's a lot of people for them, there's a lot of people against them. I am definitely for them, and especially concealed carry. I live in Detroit right now, and pretty much if you can get a concealed carry license, I would go ahead and get it. Not only if you live in a dangerous city or something like that, but just anywhere, because there's not really a safe zone. Just because you live in a nice area doesn't mean that a maniac won't come in and shoot something up, or a robber can't get in a car and travel to rob you. There shouldn't be just the thought of, I live in a nice area, nothing ever is gonna happen to me, because a lot of people have died thinking that. So if you live in a state that allows concealed carry permits, definitely go ahead and try to get one. It costs a little bit, it's a couple $100s to get it, but for that price, my life is definitely worth way more than that, so I went ahead and got mine. So the Glock 27, for those of you who don't know, is a 40 caliber subcompact. It has a couple of larger brothers, the Glock 23, which is the compact, and the Glock 22, which is the full size. Nice thing about the Glock 27 is it can take its larger brother's magazines. I do have the Glock 22 magazine, which holds 15 rounds. You can also put the Glock 23 magazine, which holds 13 rounds of 40, and it comes standard with 3 9-round magazines. The previous edition, the Gen 3s and all the other editions, came with just 2 9-round magazines, so it's pretty nice they threw in an extra one there. Again, small concealed carry weapon. It's a little bit smaller than some other subcompacts in one particular way, and that's in the grip, the height of the grip. Often I see other subcompacts list their capacity as 11 or 12 rounds. This is one of the lowest capacities, less than 10 rounds, and that's because the grip is super short. This prints very little as far as the grip sticking out than any other subcompact I've seen that's a double stack. I'm comparing them to like the Smith & Wesson M&P series, the Springfield XDMs, the SIG P250s. It's just a really short double stack design. Now the slide length, the barrel length, is about average, maybe a little bit more than average for the subcompact size. They're usually around 3 inches. This is almost 3.5. Really doesn't matter how long the slide is, because that's not gonna really print. And actually, since this does have a slightly longer barrel, you do get a little bit more punch out of the round. You get a little bit more muzzle velocity with a 3.5-inch barrel versus just a standard 3-inch barrel. So I've had this gun for just about a year now. As far as my experience, I have 500 rounds through it, and that's with a variety of different ammunition, both hollow points and full metal jackets, anywhere from 135 grains all the way up to 180 grains. Not a single stoppage whatsoever. No jams, no light primer strikes, nothing like that after 500 rounds. And I did shoot, the first time I shot it right out of the box. Shot one full magazine of my carry load, which is the Spear Gold Dot bonded 180 grain hollow points, and the box is right here for those. The bullets cost me about $50, so it's just around $1 per round. This is a box of 50, and that's what I carry in the 3 magazines that came with it. I also have a 15-round Glock 22 magazine, which you can use in this gun. You can use the larger 40 caliber magazines. In the 15 round magazine, which is mainly backup, I carry the 135 grain Federal hollow point bullets. They're not bonded or anything, but they're still pretty good performing bullets. As far as what I shot at the range, I shot 100 rounds of Tula 180 grain, and the reason I chose that load, even though it's not too good for the gun, it's steel jacketed bullets, which just isn't too good, wears out your gun a little bit more. The reason I shot them is because they're notorious for failing in a lot of guns, and I just wanted to, just prove the reliability of my Glock even more. So I shot 100 rounds of that without a single problem. Typical Winchester white box, 180 grains, no problem. The box that this is resting on right now is the 165 grain Winchester white box. I shot a 100 round pack of this. This is the second pack that I haven't fired yet. And the main reason I haven't fired that yet is because the 165 grain gives you a little bit more recoil than I like. Not in the sense that I couldn't handle it, but it just made my hands sore. The way the Gen 4s are made to have that rough texture frame, it's just digging into your hand a little bit more than I would have liked. And my hand was sore after shooting those. But the 180 grain, the 135 grain, again, I shoot around one magazine of my carry loads just to be sure that they work, are fairly light recoil, and they're more than 9mm. They're more than 45 ACP, at least through a 4 to 5 inch barrel 45 ACP out of a 1911. They're more than 38 special, 9mm, things of that nature. But definitely something that you can manage, unless you're anorexic or something like that, or you're super small. You should be able to handle the 40 caliber round even out of this small gun. So let's just take a quick look at it. It's already been safety checked. I do carry +1, and this is the +1, so it's out of the chamber. The magazine is loaded. I don't plan on unloading that. But the chamber is clear, as you can see. I'll put the magazine back in there, and let's go over a few of the changes from the previous generation. So right off the back, you can see two things immediately: the rough texture frame and the magazine release. Magazine release has been increased so that you don't have to change your grip angle at all for me, but if you have smaller hands, you don't have to change it as much in order to do mag changes. Now versus the Gen 3, and this is my brand new Gen 3 Glock 26. I won't be doing a video on this until I actually shoot it. I got this gun 2 months ago, and thanks to the ammo shortage, have not been able to take it to the range. So this one's unfired, but I have shot a Glock 26 Gen 3 before, and pretty much like it. It has significantly less recoil than the 40 caliber Glock 27, and holds one more round. Pretty nice gun, that's why I got it. But as you can see on the Gen 3, the magazine release is a lot smaller, and you kind of have to change your grip angle in order to release it, and that's especially going to be the case for people with smaller hands. Some other changes include the actual thickness of the front to back thickness of the grip. They made the Gen 4s a little bit thinner, again for people with smaller hands that complained about the Glock hump, so you get a little bit better grip on there versus the Gen 3s. I really can't tell a whole lot of difference. It's about the same grip for me. A little bit different in feel, but for most part about the same for me. But there is a noticeable difference. This butt sticks out a lot more than in the Gen 4s. Let's see, line them up here. If they stop slipping out of place, you can kind of see that the Gen 3's butt, as you see they're lined up, sticks out a little bit more than the Gen 4s. Another change is going to be a couple of changes to the slide. The first thing you'll notice off the back is the Gen 4s. I'll say Gen 4 behind the model number. If my camera would focus, doesn't look like it wants to. And the Gen 3s don't. And then the second change to the slide is you'll actually notice a texture difference. The Gen 3s have more of a slick, darker finish. They have more of a blacker finish, whereas the Gen 4s have a more matte, more grayish type finish. I guess so that your hands aren't slipping as much. You can rack the slide a little bit better on that. Again, me personally, I don't notice much of a difference, and I personally favor the Gen 3's texture, the slicker texture, because I believe it'll hold up better to holster wear. You know, it's not going to be as abrasive when inside of a leather holster than this is. I haven't noticed any real holster wear with this gun yet, and again, I've been carrying it off and on for a year. I mostly carry it in the summer months, but no real holster wear to actually show, as you can see. And this gun has been dropped before. It's been dropped on the sight. That's probably the only area of damage that you can see, and it won't even show up on camera. It's just like a little nick on the corner here, but you can't even really see it on camera. It's so minuscule. As far as, let's get the Gen 3 out of here and focus more on the Gen 4 here. As far as my accuracy with this gun, I don't test out to extreme differences, especially with a subcompact. Just normal self-defense distances, which would be more or less arm lengths, 5-10 feet, something like that. But I did go out to as far as 7 yards or 21 feet just to test my accuracy, and at that range I was getting groups around 4 to 5 inches, and that's throughout all the ammo weights, 135 grain all the way up to 180. As far as the 5 to 10 feet distances, I pretty much dug a hole out in the center of the target. Very tight groups with that, and that's with all of the different ammo weights that I tested. As far as some of my likes with this gun, the main thing I like with it is the Glock reliability that they build into all their pistols. I've heard that with some of the Gen 4s, they're somewhat unreliable. I think that was mostly with the 9mm due to a problem with the recoil spring assembly. Again, with my Glock 27 Gen 4, not a single problem, not a single stoppage, and I've run a variety of different ammo through it. Something else I like about it is the extremely hard primer strike, and I'll show you what I mean here. The Glock, here's a round. I think this is some Federal that I fired. If I can get it to focus. Come on. Well, you might have to take my word for it, because this thing looks like it doesn't want to focus for me. But pretty much it has a pretty hard primer strike. Come on. Well, you can sort of see. There we go. Pretty hard primer strike. It has a spear-shaped striker, so it really digs into the primer and assures that that round goes off. Again, with the Tula I mentioned earlier, a lot of guns had a problem firing it because they have more of a rounded firing pin, and I know this is a revolver caliber. This is a 44 that I was firing, but it's still sort of like the standard striker or firing pins on most guns would have. They just make a nice little round hole. It doesn't go very deep, whereas the Glock just completely wrecks that primer. So I like the primer strike on it. Also the accuracy I mentioned again. The accuracy out to 21 feet or 7 yards is 4 to 5 inch groups. Up close normal self-defense distances. I'm tearing a hole right in the center of the target. I also like the short grip. Even though it holds less rounds, standard of 9 rounds, it prints less. It prints less than other subcompacts, like the Smith & Wesson M&P series. Even prints less than some of the slimline or mouse guns like the Smith & Wesson Shield, the Shield 40 caliber, the Shield 9mm. It actually has a taller grip, significantly taller grip than the Glock 27 or the brother of it, the Glock 26. And the nice thing about the Glock 27 is, like I mentioned earlier, you can take its big brother magazines and use them in this gun. So here is a Glock 22 magazine, which is the full size grip, and you can see just how much longer the full size grip would be than the subcompact here. So that's that. Here is a look at another magazine while I'm at it. This is one of the 3 magazines that came with the gun, and it has a Pierce +1 grip extension on there, just so it gives you a little bit better grip. You can get 3 full fingers, where as with the standard magazine you can get about 2 fingers on there. You can't really get your pinky on there. Let's see what else. Other likes include the trigger pull at 5.5 pounds. It's not the lightest trigger in the world, but it's very crisp and has a nice audible reset. So you can see, very nice trigger pull. You can hear just how hard that striker is coming out of there. That's why it tears up the rounds and assures that your bullet is going to go off. Really nice crisp trigger pull, audible reset, as you can see. So that under rapid fire, you have a nice audible reset so that you have better trigger control. And it also has a very short reset. It doesn't travel very far. Some guns have to come all the way forward, but with this, just moves forward slightly, maybe at most a ½ an inch or something like that, and then you're ready to fire again. So I like that a lot. Another thing I like, easy takedown and detail stripping. To take this gun down, pull the trigger, pull back a little bit, pull down the takedown pins, levers, I'm sorry, and pretty much the gun is field stripped, so you can clean it or clear something out of it, change the recoil spring, switch out the barrels, because you can downgrade this gun to 9mm with a conversion barrel, or you can also switch to 357 SIG. I believe Lone Wolf and a couple other manufacturers make conversion barrels, but I think you can even just use the like some of the stock Glock barrels, just put them in there. Not too sure on that because I have not done it, but 3.5 inch barrel, roughly 3.5, I think it's exactly 3.46 or something like that. Polygonal rifling, which helps with accuracy. Only bad thing I've heard about the barrel is it doesn't have as good of chamber support. You can hear the round kind of jumbles around in there, whereas other guns, the barrel's a little bit tighter, but I haven't seen any problems with mine. It also can't take hard cast lead reloads because it will foul up the rifling eventually. But for me, I don't shoot reloads, especially hard cast, so not a worry there. What I do like is that it can take the buffalo bore and Corbin ammo because it is still a really strong barrel. As far as the detail stripping, I have completely disassembled my slide, taking out the striker, different plungers, different springs, cleaning out the firing pin channel, cleaning out the extractor, removing the drop safety. And you know, it didn't need to be cleaned, but it was so easy to clean, I just went ahead and did it. And I'm pretty much a novice as far as taking apart guns. Previously, as far as pistols go, the furthest I've taken them apart is just a basic field stripping to clean them. This is the first gun that I've detail stripped, at least the slide. I don't know how to detail strip the frame yet, but pretty much all the thousands of Glock videos out there showing you how to do that should be pretty easy to learn. So let's go ahead and put this back together. Some other things I like. The accessories are cheaper with Glocks. You can get magazines for cheaper. Not now because of this whole gun thing going on. If you could even find a Glock magazine, I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty darn expensive. But typically the magazines are cheaper. You can find a lot of third-party accessories and get those for cheaper. Anyone that you ask in a gun store is going to know about Glocks. They're going to be able to provide useful information. Different people on YouTube, forums, you know, there's just a huge knowledge pool with them. All things that I like about the gun. As far as dislikes, very few, and one is unfair, I think, and that's going to be the stout recoil. I don't think that should be a negative against this specific gun. I think that should be counted as the norm for small subcompacts, because pretty much anything this size and weight, 19 ounces unloaded, is going to be hard recoiling with a big bullet. The 40 caliber is a pretty large bullet. It's in between a 9mm and 45, and a lot of people say that, and it's true. I don't have a 45 to show you, but I do have a 9mm and the 40. You can see that the 40 is quite a bit larger in diameter and has better expansion. Has a little bit more power than a 9mm. The standard pressure 40 is going to have 400 foot-pounds energy with the spear. Standard pressure 9mm may give you 350 foot-pounds energy. But with my 9mm, I carry Remington Golden Saber plus P, and this is going to give you, I believe, right around 400 foot-pounds energy. I think I saw that on the website. I don't think they put it on the box, but plus P plus, you can get pretty similar power outputs with 9mm with less recoil. But the expansion might not be exactly the same because, again, this is a larger diameter bullet. So, the other dislike is going to be the fact that the grip is still a little bit thick, even though they toned it down a little bit on the Gen 4s. It's still got that Glock hump that kind of gets in the middle of your hand. So, that's pretty much it as far as the review. Nothing more I can really say about it, but I definitely do recommend the gun. Again, it's been totally reliable for me. The gun can shoot just about any type of ammunition, not only because of the hard primer strike, but also because of the strong barrel. And pretty much stripping the gun, finding things out about it, is going to be easy because of the huge amount of knowledge that's out there on this gun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little review on my Gen 4 Glock 27. Hopefully it helped you guys make some decisions out there as far as buying your gun. And again, hope you guys enjoy it. So thanks again for watching. See you guys later. Peace.